Oh, we have steering and we have road feel on here on the Champs-Élysées. Road feel, I think I'm going to have to turn off because it's cobbles the whole way. Cobbles the whole way. Here I'm clicking on the screen and I'm on Apple TV. Here we go. Can I steer onto the smooth section? No, I can't. This is not real. See on the normal Champs-Élysées, which you will see tonight. Or this afternoon, depending where you're watching from. They'll actually steer into the gutter and get it nice and smooth. Like within centimetres of their, or within millimetres of their crank hitting the gutter. This is all cobbles with road feel on. I am going to have to switch this off. And good evening, stream. I'll be in the chat here on YouTube only because my multi-stream really wasn't working that well recently. Multiple power meters again tonight. Let's get this all going. Go and go. This thing's having kittens on these cobbles. So I'm on the 2T again, and it's just the road feel is just the whole way. Olaf, welcome along. This is terrible. Invented road feel. And why is it permanently on here? Okay, so I'm on Apple TV tonight. Let's have fun with the Apple TV remote. Can I turn off Neo road feel? Oh, that was easy. Oh, my word. That's how life should be. A little smoother than that. That was horrible. I'll turn this off again. So tonight, training difficulty. Let's get this up and running. tvOS 14 out this week on Apple TV 4K and the previous generation. So I'm Apple TVing tonight. The stream will be a little bit different. No chat. The chat's over on YouTube itself. No Twitch. My Twitch, everything, my handle is always Gplama, or should be. No Twitch tonight because my multi-stream is giving me headaches. I don't have time for headaches. I just want to ride my bike. So just YouTube. We'll see how the stream goes. 0 drop frames. 0. Let me know the sound levels. I should be coming through okay. I'm bringing in Apple TV with the Elgato though, so it's set up a little differently. The stream will look a little different because it is a coming from the Apple TV, not my normal Windows machine. But we're here in Paris to do a couple of laps tonight, just to roll the legs over, nothing hard. Tour kicks off, final stage. So yeah, I thought we'd do a few laps and say hello. I haven't ridden today either. I've just been a bit under the weather, dealing with all this tech stuff. So, yeah, good opportunity to jump on here. The tour yesterday, my word. I mean, roll back through my stream from yesterday, and I was predicting, well, first of all, we predicted the tour wasn't going to happen at all. It did. I didn't test a lot, but it happened. That's a good thing. I was wrong on that. Secondly, like yesterday, I said there was not going to be any time changes or change the GC and the TT. Well, it goes to show how much I know about professional cycling. I don't think anyone could have predicted that. That was phenomenal. Phenomenal to watch. I'd like to see the COVID results from tomorrow onwards. Anyway. Yeah, wow, what a show. And that's what cycling needed. Cycling needed to be entertaining. So we have some thumbs back because I'm on Apple TV. I did see the new muck-off rear mech. I did. I have a ceramic speed OSPW on my other bike. I've got that to try and see the differences in power, drivetrain losses versus using one versus not using one. Initial testing, I can't tell any difference, but we'll still do some more testing to be conclusive on that. So the muck-off rear mech, if they really did save, let's just say 6 watts at 250, every single rider at the tour would have one. It's just not the case. But we need more data. We need more hard, independent data on those things. They look nice. Richie third. How good is that? Like, it's a good way to close out. Now, I'm not going to put a bullet in Richie just yet. To close out his career aspirations as a GC rider. Next year, he's moving over to, is it back to Ineos? As a domestique. for him to get third in the tour, that's really, really good to see. Really good. One of the best performances ever. So from who exactly? Was that Richie or the Pog or the Rog? Either way, I think they all rode pretty well. Roglic on the last climb, when they had a side-by-side of the Pog and the Rog, Roglic really didn't look as smooth or as pumping on the pedals. Really, Pogačar just had that wrapped up, just motivated like anything else. 21 years old, turning 22 on Monday. What the hell have we done with our lives? Well, he's used his genetic gifts very well. On the Pog's performance, yeah, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Well, I'm pretty sure, well, Richie announced that he was moving away from Trek. He didn't announce it. Someone else just, was it Tomo on SBS announced it? Sprint the time sections? No sprints tonight. And I'll bump the watts above 400 every now and then if I remember. I'm still collecting some data here on some power meters. But just chill. Just a chilled ride tonight to have a chat to everyone. And also check on the stream health. I had a few false starts with this stream recently. Nothing changes my end yet. Yeah, just those weird things happening. Anyhow. Stephen, do I have the GoPro Hero 9 on order yet? Mate, I had it on order half an hour before the notification came through that it was out. GoPro themselves released their new equipment in store probably half an hour to 45 minutes before they announced anything. I knew it was coming. I was on the store. I'll order a new GoPro, hands down. Cash down every single time. I've had, I think since the 6 or the 5, since the 5 I've owned every GoPro. Not all of them have been great. The 360 camera is just a pain, so that's gone. But happy to buy, test, and see how they go. So I'm in line with everyone else, waiting for the order to come through. Purchased online, so I have to wait. Alright, I'm fan on. And we are good. Hope everyone's weekend has been great. Had some okay weather here in Ballarat. A little bit windy. I think the rest of the week is going to be pretty terrible, but that's alright. That's what we get. It's a bit of both at the moment. The first to win 3 out of 4 jerseys, yeah. So the jersey ceremony tonight. Somebody said it's going to be Sam Bennett, and then the Pog just goes up and gets everything else. The Pog had never won a TT before. Yeah, quite possibly. Look. That was a different TT than normal. It wasn't a flat TT. That was a hill climb. And you saw at the end how hard that was. Every good road cyclist knows how to time trial anyway. That's what you're going to have to do if you're going to break away late. If you're going to be in a small bunch. Actually working. And the kid is just so fast. Whew. I keep going to hit the keyboard in front of me, but we're on Apple TV. Oh, I hit boost. How? Okay, I hit boost. Good. That works. He's the Slovenian TT champ. Right, yes. But did you see Jumbo Visma watching the screens, thinking all our hard work we've done for the last 3 weeks, and they couldn't do anything about it, and take nothing away from what the Bumblebees have done for the last 3 weeks. It just came down to the legs at the end. But if it was that close, maybe they rethink their tactics. You just never know. You never know how it's going to pan out. The bike swaps was interesting. Stressful time for the mechanics. Probably not so much for the rider. The rider's going to be stressed anyway. Does that add to the stress, maybe? But the mechanic is always just waiting for when something goes wrong. That is, you know, sometimes they don't have to jump out of the car at all. You've lost your Apple remote. They're pretty easy to lose. Little Maxwell likes taking off with ours. Geez, I'm glad we got the road feel off. That was non-stop. So how far can we steer on here? Oh, there's a Jumbo Visma rider. So we can go out as far as here, in as far as there. Right. No ride-on stats tonight because I'm on Apple TV. And my ride-on stats come through the Windows stuff. Alrighty. ProCyclingStats.com if you want to check out everybody's history, complete riding history from the tour. ProCyclingStats.com is just brilliant. Has so much information on there. Has the live tracker now too. Has just interesting stats before a stage and during the stage. Things like whose birthday it is. It is easily the go-to place for bike stats and pro stats. Has the trackpad on the Logitech. I don't use the trackpad at all. There's a Logitech here. That trackpad, can't stand it. Mouse is where it's at. Just never. I use a trackpad on the Mac. Even video editing, everything I do on Mac is all with the trackpad. Well, I'm on the bike here. I want to grab a hold of something and move it around rather than try and get a sweaty finger. Who's on course that I know? Right on. Let's see if we can find out who that is. Al Adams. Aha. Quite a few people on course. 800 people on course here. And I think the crowds are about as big as they will be in France or in Paris tonight. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the crowds. Definitely no restrictions on some of those climbs. Lots of people, lots and lots of people. I wonder if they're going to test the riders after they're released from the tour bubble. I think it'd be wise to test everyone after they've released. But you can imagine the teams and riders, once they're done, they just want to go home. Go out and party. How many laps, Jessica? Not sure. I'll ride around for about 45, maybe an hour. Just an easy ride tonight. I needed to tick the legs over. Again, another firmware on the crank-based power meter. So some tempo work on that. Recording with those with the Asioma Uno. Somebody asked last night why I split the duos into Unos for this power testing. It's because what I'm comparing is a single-sided power meter. So it's easy just to record left pedal, left crank, and have a look how they line up. And then I have the full power from the trainer, which is coming from the Neo 2. Now this is on 2T. Is recording to the Apple TV4K. So for me to pull down the fit file, I'll need to jump on the my dashboard, my.zwift.com dashboard. Yes, that's it. To pull down the fit file from there. Yeah, it's good to see the story of the Tour de France unfold like that. It was good. It was good. New talent. Cycling's such a cruel sport. You see, Sagan is not dominating. Though Sagi's been around for many, many years. It's different when you apply. Like, imagine if our professional careers only lasted 4 or 5 years and that was it. Imagine being a doctor or a dentist and you're on top of your game, then you put out to pasture. It's a cruel sport. Garmin 1030, gone from 10 to 10.2. So the 0.2 update, which came out this week, was only for the altimeter readings. So the altitude was all out on those things. So not a lot changed there. Stephen, I would, if you've got the time, do a factory reset. Also removing all your fit files that are on, or activities that are on the device. A lot of the time if you do a firmware upgrade on a head unit that has to go through and process all those fit files because something changes with how it reads them, or it needs to validate them all, it takes ages to boot up. The old 520 sometimes took 15-20 minutes to boot up after a fix. That was because those things, well, my instance had about probably 120 fit files on there that it went through and did something with. So clearing things out. Like any other sport, yep, old slow, you're right. We saw the Giro Rossa. That changed in a heartbeat. Annemiek van Vleuten, Spratty down. That's it. One small crash and you're done. That was a time trial stage for the ages it was. Normally time trials are like watching paint dry. And I'm saying that as someone who loves time trials. They're really not that good to watch unless there's a story around it. Apple Watch with Zwift, no. I have an Apple Watch Series 3. Great, like lifestyle watch. Unlocks my computer. But given the battery lasts about, well, not even a day, just not that interested in Apple Watch content or Apple Watch products, really. Forerunner here, I charge every few weeks, and it can connect to all my ant sensors and all the other sensors that I have, so it's my backup and doesn't require a lot of maintenance. Yeah, Spratty, on her birthday too. So we have the World Road Champs this weekend, is it? Or next weekend. This weekend is still happening in most places. Sunday night here. But the Road Worlds, wow. Was it a year ago that we saw that absolute terrible weather conditions over there in Yorkshire? Was it only 11 months? I can't recall. Next week or 2 weeks. Yeah, what? Is it up in the air still, is it, or are they... Did I ever go back to tubeless? I tried. I didn't turn the cameras on for it though, you know. My history with tubeless tyres on road bikes in particular has been well documented. So much so that YouTube demonetized my video even though I bleeped out any swears. It's still not good enough for YouTube. Put them on easily on the Canyon bike. They went on fine. What were they? 35s or 40s or 42s on the Canyon Grail. Tubeless, no worries. Set up perfectly. Road stuff. Oof. However, I do have some Pirelli tyres to throw on. Some tubeless. I'll try again. Or fail trying. I'm not going to die trying. Tubeless ain't worth dying for. But I'll go get myself an air compressor. I was given all the tips under the sun that what I was doing wrong. I should have soaked, I should have done double layer of rim tape, I should have soaked the tyre, I should have seated the bead on one side first and then taken a tube out. But you try that on a 25mm tyre and a wide rim, it just pops off anyway once you've soaked it's... I didn't pull out the Ouija board, I should have. Given that tubeless tyres for road are the product of Satan, I should have called on the man to help out. But we'll try and apply some more science to it with the air compressor. That in itself is going to cost more than the tubeless tyres. Alright, 773. Yeah, there's no... I don't think there's gains there. So I've been running the GP5000s. So the GP5000 TLs that I was running. The front, sliced the front in a couple of 100Ks, that was done. Just bad luck, that happens. The rear lasted... Was it 4,000 Ks? It wasn't a lot. but it delaminated. But that was okay. That tyre did its job. It's a performance tyre. I guess I can't expect too much out of it for endurance. And then now I'm over to the GP5000 clinchers with latex tubes, and they have been brilliant. Not a single puncher. Plenty of grip left on them. They ride well. I can't sing their praises enough. So, chalk and cheese experience with both versions of the GP5000. But I do have the Pirelli new tubeless to go on the older TCR that I have. Because I haven't given up on road tubeless just yet. In theory, it'll work and do well. But we'll see. Latex tubes slowly lose pressure. Well, if they lose pressure overnight, they're going to lose it over a ride. But it depends on how much. Not really enough to notice. Unless you're doing a 6 or 8 hour ride. Might be a few PSI in there. Vida, you rode the Mega Pretzel. 107 Ks, 5 hours on the bike. Now I'm going to ask you the question. Did you get the route badge? Or did it bug out and not give you the route badge? Apparently the route badge bug at the moment is to do with the radio tower. Anything going past or through the radio tower on, is it 4 Horsemen? I think it's a Mega Pretzel and something or else, something other, isn't giving the route badge. Boom, look at that for a sprint. Lil Willie, how you doing, mate? Still celebrating your marbles win, I hope. Lil Willie, a winner of the final game of marbles over on Twitch the other night when I was testing the bandwidth on that. Am I ever seeing on a BMX anytime soon? No, but Francis K did. That was a good watch. No. Not a chance. Luke Smith, how are we doing? A couple of easy laps here, Luke. Stream health looks good. Well, the stream health looks better than my health. Which was daycared. I'll call it that, daycared. We put Max in daycare for one single day. He comes back with a running post, passes it around. Thankfully it's not their own. The tour, what time does it start here, mate? 11:30, I think? I might have to set the alarm. We've got to see Richie on the podium. Proud Aussie. And we can't miss Richie being on the podium. So I'll set the alarm. But for the dudes just rolling in, sipping champagne for a couple of hours, it's very late at night. Our thoughts on long route badges over multiple sessions. A repost of someone else's comment. Sorry if I missed that one. Yeah, look, for sure. So with that, the question came through from Marco there. If you're Cam Jeffers, there we go, bam, done. If you're doing a longer ride on any ergo, anything over a 2 or 3 hours, that's a big ask, even for an experienced cyclist, really. Trainers are for good, short, sharp. The average trainer rides 45 minutes. That's the average ride on a trainer. If you're serious about things, that is extending out. Now we've got more entertainment. 60 minutes, let's say 60 minutes is now pushing out. Apparently Siri doesn't like my accent, or does like my accent. Okay. Yeah, so splitting those big long rides, PRL full, you're looking at 7, 8, 9 hours. And a couple of those rides, you start the Alp to Zwift at 120 kilometers in. Whew, that's a big ask. No, I'm all for it. If you can, here's the trick. If your Zwift session stays open, for you to go and have a sleep and then come back the next day, or give it 24 hours, and Windows doesn't auto-install something and reboot. All power to you. Getting Windows to stay up that long without auto-rebooting is probably harder than actually doing it. The 36-year-old staying up past midnight to watch the tour is near impossible. Funk 44, mate. When you have a 1-year-old who gets up at 6:30 on the dot every single morning, I agree. It is impossible. The full stages on the replay, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've been very lucky here in Australia. Now I hear SBS in Australia has the tour for the next 10 years. It's 10 years. Now, Pogacar was 11 10 years ago. He was 11. That's how much longer SBS have the Tour de France for. So Tomo, Kino, Bridie, Robbie, lock those contracts in. Multi-year contracts. You've got a good gig. Yeah, and they're doing well. They're doing very well. So, I mean, 10 year, hell, 10 year, I'll take a 10-year contract. I don't know what with, but 10 years sounds good for a bit of security. I don't see myself being around in 10 years' time on YouTube. Cool. So, Gabriel Gatte, oh. Hey, maybe he'll make a comeback, you never know. Mad Dog right on. So Apple TV 4K is chugging along quite nicely. This is tvOS 14. A lot of people are a bit worried about upgrading. I throw Hail Mary out, just upgrade everything. iOS 14 on the phones. Well, not the phone you're seeing there, that's too old now, but this one here. Yeah, the Apple TVs. Because if it breaks, I'll have fun fixing it and understanding what's going on. Bluetooth connections still limited to the Apple TV 4K. I tried to pair the Neo 2T as the power, cadence and control. That's one connection. And then the status or the heart rate. And it said, yeah, choose one, son, not two. So we've got the status. I've got heart rate here onto the head units in front of me. First time on the course? No. We've ridden this one before it was released. I think the code dropped down and we went and got those route badges pretty quick. The uphill drag, yep, it is. It does have a long drag to it, but on the flip side, it's a nice descent, nice fast descent. So if you're on a smart trainer, you really feel that gear kick over. Max may take over YouTube. Yeah, who knows what YouTube's going to become. Again, rewind back 10 years and what was around. Things are very different. Anybody from Australia watching? Renshaw on the couch there. Somebody gave the best analogy of Renshaw. Now, love the guy. He's only just beginning his television career, so we have to cut him a bit of slack. Somebody said Renshaw acts like a guy who's just about to meet your mother to take your daughter, take the daughter out for a dinner for the first time. He's very buttoned up. He's very proper. A little bit nervous. I think we get Renshaw on the beers, and then sit him on the couch with Tom Alaris. That'd be the way to go. But no issues with the tvOS. No problemos. No ability to do picture-in-picture though, with Zwift, that I'm aware of. Let me try and break this session on the live stream. Why not? Everything else is working fine. Let's start throwing a few rocks at this technology. By press and hold. So we have... it stopped my ride. Yeah, I don't have any option to do... Oh, choo! To do anything. What would be awesome? So you can play, if you're playing a movie, you can do picture-in-picture with certain things. I think you can also do a picture-in-picture overlay with AirPlay. What would be awesome? What would be very awesome is if you could AirPlay your phone. Sorry, my camera's a bit out. Your phone that I've got over here onto your Apple TV screen, and just have it in the corner. So you have the companion app, you have the Apple TV, just all. I don't know if it'd be any useful. I think it'd be cool. What AFL team? No, I don't follow AFL. Sorry. No. I'm not anti-AFL. I grew up playing it. just don't follow our... Is it a national sport, can I say that? Is anybody from New South Wales here? FTP and watts per kilo, mate? I've got no idea. We haven't tested that for a long time. Haven't kept track of that for a long time either. It's the national sport of Victoria. Well done. I like it. I like it. Have I given up on Twitch? No, I haven't given up on Twitch. I'm just having technical issues with my ingest server. So the way I usually stream to both and to Facebook at the same time, all this here is packaged up as one single stream, punched through Restream, a third party in Sydney, and then Restream do their thing and push it out to my other accounts on both all of Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And Twitch always looks great. The quality, the resolution, the ease of use. Just setting up a YouTube live takes a bit of work, at least a few minutes. But recently, if you saw my stop-start notifications in the last couple of days, the streams have been just falling off a cliff. I don't think it's this end, because when I switch out the other end, everything is perfect. So I don't know. I think it's Restream, the way they're looking at the stream that I'm sending to them. They're either rejecting it or doing something weird with it. So, yeah. How was my birthday with Vaughn and Maxwell? It was good. It was good. Thank you for asking, Ken. We had cake. Well, Maxwell had cake. So it was good. So I think the three of us in this house here have all had lockdown parties or lockdown birthdays. It's been that many months. Somebody said tonight, I put up a photo of my my old SL4. So I'm stripping my old SL4 tarmac. Love that bike. I retired that bike when I found this giant TCR for only a few $100s, and I upgraded everything to 11 speed and started riding this. But I love the SL4. It needs some work on the rear drops. They're worn to all hell, given I swapped wheels out non-stop, swapped trainers non-stop. The trainer usage on it is fine, didn't break it, but just clamping things in and out non-stop. The little rear drop covers. It's a weird setup. Anyhow, Raul Lucia has got a solution for that. The graphics are a lot worse than PC. Yeah, they are. PC is much better. I was stripping down the SL4 and thinking, you know what, I could build this up as my other bike. It'll give me something to do. And someone posted up with, are you bored? The answer was, hell yeah, I'm bored. We can't go anywhere. We can't do much. Of course I'm bored. So if I can get that bike to Raul, it'll need, it's 2012, I think. Might be a 2013. Pretty sure it's 12. Either way, it's fine. It'll be a nice little project to get that switched over. How do the car back sensors work out on the road? Very handy. Look, I love it. There's one piece of technology that I will tell people to go and buy. Typically it's, I've got this, here's how it works, here's my experience. There you go. It's about as far as I get for recommendations of things. But the Vario radar has changed, it's changed my riding outdoors entirely. I ride mostly solo on big open roads. Sometimes there's a shoulder, sometimes not. Sometimes there's wind, so you can't hear anything. That radar will pick up a car before you'll ever hear it. Every single time. Phenomenal technology. But not only it picks up one car coming behind you, it'll tell you if there's two or three. So if you're riding along and you hear one car goes past, you're like, okay, cool, no worries. Relax a bit. Oh shit, another car. Wasn't ready for that. the radar will tell you if there's multiple cars. You know there's more than one coming along. And a lot of the time, if I've got time during the day and I'm out riding, getting some long pays in, if it's a quiet road, beep, 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 I'll turn around. Okay, truck or something large. I'll just step off the road, give them a bit of a wave, and the interaction with drivers, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I don't think drivers are out to cause any damage to us. They just don't want to hit us. If, as a driver myself, if I'm driving up behind a cyclist and they're weaving in and out and they don't look like they're spatially aware, I get a bit nervous for both of us. If that cyclist in the middle of nowhere turns around, sees me, gives me a bit of a wave, I know you're there. Game changer. Absolute game changer. Doesn't work too well in a busy, on a busy road, obviously. Doesn't work too well in the city. But for the environment that I use it, unbelievable. Any real life riding with Jim Crumpler? No. Jim's out in the gravel bike. I don't have a gravel bike. I've got to get one. Jim's not too far from here. But I don't do any bunch rides. I'm a bit of a loner. Coming from a time trial background, that helps. This is my daily catch up with everybody on the live stream, so I do appreciate everyone jumping in and saying g'day. So, there's a few bunch rides here in Ballarat. Can't recall the last time I went on a bunch ride. Hallie Mac, morning. The drivers out Ballarat way, look, fine. To be honest, fine. But in 1,000 drivers, you'll get one idiot. But in 1,000 cyclists, you'll get one idiot. The ratio's about the same. I don't have much problem. Even over in Perth, we're over in Perth for a few months. People are saying, oh, the drivers over here are terrible. I don't think I had any issues at all. However, driving around Perth and driving around in a car, same ratio. Sydney drivers will run you off the road. Yeah, riding in Sydney, I couldn't crack that nut. We're up there for 6 weeks, I think. I think it was 6 weeks with Von's work. Yeah, the best I got was out to the, what loop was I doing down south there? Bit of a time trial loop out to, God, I can't even think of the road now. Can't even think. Oh, sorry, I'll, my chat bot is pretty strict on words, but I'll allow those. Do I have a front table and stand? Is it a Wahoo table? Yes, it is. Yes. And I do have in front of me here the new and improved Smart Desk. I'm using it for a week or two, and then we'll cover it on the channel. Just quickly, Wahoo desk. I have drink bottle holders off to the side. I've installed those. I'll cover that. I have a towel rack over this side. I have a little remote holder that holds, well, the stream lighting. It's powered. I have USB power. I have a... Hang on, let me see if I can show you. Sure. Why not? We'll try. I'll show you the temperature gauge that I've installed on the front. It is absolutely brilliant. Can I... Okay, it's going to be a little bit off, but phone focus there. It's upside down, sorry. But funnily enough, it is. That's going to be upside down, but that's the Wahoo desk in front of me here. I don't have enough cable to pull through. So if you do a handstand, there we go, it's sort of half sideways. 69% humidity, 23.1 degrees in here. And that little temperature gauge cost me like $2 or $3. And it sits in there just perfectly. It's great. I'll cover all that soon. That's a bit of fun. I have a Google Mini to go on here. I have a voice-controlled fan to go on here. It's everything you really don't need, but I'm bored. We're in lockdown. What else am I going to do? Pimping out the rides. And if you can make your environment friendly, if you can make it fun, you can make it easy. Like I've got a side table next to me. I've got the microphone here. I just swing around. I have a fan in front. If that's all there ready to go and clipping in, yeah, voice-controlled fan. You watch. Coming soon. If your environment's good to go, you're more likely to clip it and ride. If you've got to set up your environment every single time, It's you don't want that to take all your energy before you get on the bike. Aren't really in lockdown. Not anymore. Well, no, but we still. What I like to do is go places to see my family. And all. Yeah, sure, we're not locked down like Melbourne, sure. So I'm not going to bitch and moan about that. For example, how's Slane doing? No, I don't know. Give him a buzz every now and then, but we can't catch up with Slane. So, it's a pain in the ass. But it is what it is. So, yeah, Melbourne has it worse than what we have, and there's going to be other countries who are going to have it even worse than that again. So, we'll do with what we can. How do you see the inclination or slope in the Zwift companion app? Good question. I don't think it's there. Nope. It's not on screen. Luke Smith, $15. Bring it on. Thank you so much. That goes straight to the Maxwell Fund. That is diapers and coffee. I said last time I wasn't quite sure which order they go. It might be the coffee for Max, might be diapers for me. Either way. Thank you so much. If you want to support the channel or be alerted of videos coming up, I have a Zwift tip coming. I was going to upload it before this one, but I've got to do the thumbnail for it. So Zwift tip comes out in a couple of hours after I finish this ride. You'll be alerted of new videos if you subscribe to the channel. There's also a membership button too, which gives you a few little perks and a little llama next to your name, Funk44. You can see the Funk44's little llama there, indicating that they've been a supporter member of the channel. And your llama changes colour over time. It gets cooler and cooler the longer you hang around. Eventually I'll be right about the diapers. Hopefully we can get out and start travelling again by the time that comes around. Alrighty. What have we done? We'll go through to the hour. Legs are good. Legs are good. Just shoulder check. Do with no socks. Ooh, chop. Alrighty. So, somebody asked about my tips for tonight. Caleb, of course. Of course we want to see Caleb win that. Getting Caleb up for the win tonight, and Richie on the podium. Pretty good. That'd be pretty good. Jules, welcome along. Just finished the jungle loop. It'll be interesting to see what Zwift do with the investment money, but it's always interesting what they are doing. Yeah, for sure. And as I said last night on the other day in the stream, we just don't know really what they're going to do. There's press releases, then there's actual actions. And they're a private company, so you're never going to know exactly what's going on. But it can only be good as long as Zwift hang around, as long as the platform is there for us to ride. If the servers were only on for like 3 or 4 hours a day because they couldn't afford to keep them up. I know it sounds crazy, but they have more VC cash. Funk44, they got another $450 million US. What that also goes to show is the other platforms that are out there. There are quite a number of other platforms doing well. You got RGT, Trainer Road, Sufferfest, Full Gas, Kinomap still around. My Whoosh. Have a look at Pogacar's jersey. It's got Whoosh. That is a 3D riding platform. All of those companies should be like, hell yes. Sure, they got the money. But there's going to be a ton of other investors and interest in this area. So, it's only a good thing. No doubt those companies have seen what Peloton have done, or are doing, what the potential they have. Don't I have inside knowledge on Zwift? I don't. So when something new comes out from Zwift, the new builds, I have a script that runs every 5 minutes to check if there's a new update to Zwift on the servers. And as soon as the new update out, I get an email I log into my Zwift account here on Windows, or yeah, Windows first. I have a look at the files that have changed. I load up Zwift and have a look to see if I can see anything that's different. And then we jump over. They are now publishing a changelog pretty quickly. Not as fast as what I can get alerted of from the server. It was another round of funding, yep. But even after 5 or 6 years on this platform and pushing out an absolute crank ton of content, no, I don't get a lot of inspiring knowledge, sorry. I'm keen to see what the other platforms are going to do. I really am. We saw Wahoo purchase Sufferfest. Was that a year ago? 18 months ago? That was pretty big. Hardware companies need software. They need software. Wouldn't surprise me if Tax or Garmin would look at something like Fugaz. That'd be a good matchup. Tax had similar in the past. I think they've let that go by the wayside a little bit. You sort of need to stand on your own 2 feet, especially if you're getting into hardware. Might make things a little harder for other companies. You never know. It's business. But what interests me is the 3 to 5 year plan of where things are going to be. What we've got now, it's pretty nice. We have a lot of hardware. It's hard to put it all together though. You can't walk into a gym and just ride Zwift. There's got to be a trainer or a bike or a smart bike and all of that. There's no station people can just pick off the shelf and say that's it. And that's okay, so that'll answer the question of why Zwift need to get into hardware. Because at the moment, just in my opinion, after having an entire house full of this equipment, that's a nice way of putting it, it's all too hard. It's all too hard. In the last 2 years, it's been great. Bluetooth has made things a lot easier. Apple TV has made things a lot easier, which I'm writing here. You connect and it just works. But at the moment, if I have an issue with my indoor session here, let's say I've got dropouts. Well, that could be Vero, it could be Shimano, it could be Tax, it could be Microsoft, it could be Samsung, it could be HP, it could be my Apple phone. And what you get from a user support perspective is a game of handball that is non-stop. And yeah, it needs to be easy, much, much easier. And the way you do that is by making the experience, again, just my own opinion, of watching this stuff rolling for years, is you put it in a box, and that's the user experience that you buy off the shelf. Looks after you from A to Z. From the idea of I want to ride online, forget the word Zwift, forget any of the technology we currently have. I want to ride online with my friends. Cool. I'll go to the bike shop and buy everything I need. If that comes in the one single box from the one company, that's a godsend. I pull it out of the box, I set the bike up, I set the cranks up, pedals, shoes, I flip the screen open, I connect to my home Wi-Fi, I connect to the service that the bike provides, and then I run through the sessions, and I've just explained what Peloton does. That's why they're ahead of the curve, big time. So why is Zwift need to get into hardware? Whether they will get into hardware, whether they'll do it right, whether they'll succeed, I don't know. That is so bullcrap, Shane. All right, counter argument coming up. Go. In your opinion, my entire YouTube channel exists because this technology is too effing hard. I've got to Shane-splain shit to myself first to understand it, and then I'll make a video on it to explain something. Look at every one of my videos. I would need to do that with Peloton. Unbox, work. Doesn't work, cool. It's all. Zwift need to put me out of business. Zwift need to shut down everything that I do, make things so easy. That should be their goal. I make money from YouTube because of how hard everything is. That's not a good model. It's good for me. Pays for coffee. A UI UX thing? Yeah, they can fix that. That's only one component. It's still too hard. Bluetooth versus Amp Plus. Why do people even know what Amp Plus is? They don't need. People shouldn't have to need to know what Amp Plus is. It should just turn on and work. If you've ever set up a Google Home Mesh, I'm passionate about this, so I'm enjoying the conversation. If you've ever set up Google Home Mesh, you unbox it, you plug it in, there's an app, you go next, 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 and you set up one of the most complex things. In the past, we had to deal with different ADSL standards and different this and different that, and call the ISP. The Google experience out of the box. Apple Watch, same thing. Apple products doesn't come with the manual because you can turn it on and it steps you through it. The only thing that comes close, the Kicker Bike comes close, but it's still not there with connectivity. I'd like it to be a Wi-Fi connected hub for your sensors, and that just connects on and integrates well. No, Zwift don't need to compensate me for my efforts. YouTube do that. I'm exploiting their holes. But you can wire Google Home up with Ethernet, sure. But you don't need to. The UI design, yep, for the software wise, for sure. And that's all part of the bigger picture. Absolutely. All part of the big picture. Have a software that just, you turn on, it steps you through it, it just works. But I've got to keep creating Zwift tips. Tonight's Zwift tip will come out in a couple of hours. The little speaker icon that you see on the events list. So if you go to events, I just explain what the event is. So events over here, full phone. You can see, well, okay, you got me on the user experience thing. Behind the A there, or the UI thing, behind the A is a speaker sign that's hidden. I'll find an event that doesn't have it. There we go. World Social Rights, the little speaker there. So that's my Zwift tip, explaining what that speaker does. I'm not going to explain it now, you won't watch my next video. Fully automated systems annoy the hell out of me in the end, absolutely, me too. But if there's an advanced option for us to set our own DHCP servers or our own configuration at the lower end, I'm all for that. Give me a terminal any day over a GUI, for sure. But if this thing's going to succeed as big as Peloton, or bigger, it's going to have to be a hell of a lot easier. Zwift isn't the most polished piece of software. Yeah, no, I think we all know that. Thankfully it works. Touch wood. It works for me. Like if it was falling over as much as what we read on the forums, I wouldn't be able to live stream for hours and hours and hours. What was falling over the other day was my ingest server, which wasn't Zwift, which was working fine. The option to choose life, yes. Yeah, there's a balance between dumbing something down and not giving people enough options and making it too complex or too easy. There's a fine line, but I think that's why they need to get into hardware. Why hardware companies can't simplify that process at the moment? Because they're tied to the software, which also is tied to the hardware. It's this chicken and the egg. So the hardware companies have made smart bikes. They've made smart bikes with additional buttons, additional configuration, additional rider profiles. The software hasn't done much with that. So they're ahead there. Who moves first? If you own both the hardware and the software, you can move. There's no commercial hurdles. It is still as disappointing having all this hardware and not seeing work to its full potential. There's no question that the platforms out there will always support third-party hardware. They have to. Because at the moment, if something like Zwift, or Road Grand Tours, or everything else, or let's say Sufferfest only supported Wahoo stuff, they're just cutting off their revenue as it stands. It's not going to happen like that. Will it be phased out over 10 or 15 years? Maybe. We don't know. But is that a bad thing? If the experience that is offered with that hardware is twice as good, then as a consumer, that's good for us. We just go and buy the new stuff. We have a better experience. Done. Does Zwift would die overnight if they did that? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Magpie got your ear. Whoosh. Get yourself a GoPro. You ever capture that? See, Bicycle Networks use my Magpie photo from the other day again. Will the experience on the first party hardware leave a third party for dead? We just don't know. But there is a high chance that it could. If the dev team for the software is sitting in the same building as the dev team for the hardware, there's a high chance they'll talk. We don't know. At the end of the day, it's nothing that I get too angry about or disappointed about, because it's all about the user experience. And as an end user, we either get a better bike, a better indoor experience, maybe we've got to spend some more money, but hey, I've got to go buy a new laptop every 2 or 3 years because the performance goes to hell. I've got to buy a new phone every 18 months because the performance goes to hell. I've got to buy a new smart trainer every couple of years, and that experience is that next step up. Cool. I'm all for it. But trainer companies have made it a little simpler. We have the Suto out of the box with the cassette, 2 axle adapters that are just on. Kicker 5 does the same thing. Out of the box, flip the legs, it works. No development teams sitting in the same room or building. Okay, virtually though. If they're under the same employment contract or similar, sorry, if whoever pays their monthly wage is the same person or the same company, it's highly likely they'll work together a little better. Old slow, no comment, no comment. We'll see, we'll see. Outsourcing is the way to go. Outsourcing, don't try and reinvent the wheel. The wheel is round, unless you're on Q-rings and haven't figured that out yet, that the world is round. No, kidding. There's a lot of very smart people out there in engineering and cycling who don't make trainers, who could very well make trainers. The same Slack channel is as close as you get now. Carbon ear protectors for your helmet against magpies. Any thoughts on what Zwift will do with the large grant they've been given? No. We don't know. We don't know. More employees, more of the right employees, maybe poach some people. They're in California. They've got a few big game development houses just down the road. Welcome along, Stefan. Will the cash injection to Zwift assist? My honest take? No. I don't think Zwift have had a cash problem or a money problem. Probably a talent problem. Not saying the talent they have is a problem. Getting enough people though. I think Eric has spoken about that. Getting enough of the right people. If you're in Long Beach or anywhere in the world, look at the kind of cash that Epic Games has and all those other big games houses there. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And again, it's not my scene anymore, but just as an observer, what do you want on your resume as a developer? If you can poach them from Google, Facebook, and Microsoft, yeah, there we go. And we end up with Zwift XP. Actually, Windows XP is pretty good. Who knows? Who knows? I'm excited to see. The fact is, they'll be around long enough for us to see what takes place. But I'm more interested in what does that mean for the off-parts? Road Grand Tours. Have they now started getting phone calls from investors? That's cool. What about someone who's sitting on their couch and has a little riding app or a riding tool that does something different? Imagine if they launch and get some cash behind them. More eyes on this scene is it's a good thing. Specialized getting involved is interesting, hey? Oh, who was saying about this hill being here before? Who was it? Let me... Where was it? Where was it? Was it... No, it wasn't Jordan. It wasn't Mark. Where are you? I'm going to find this comment on this hill. It wasn't Aiden. Ah, Jessica. I think it was you. They pointed out this hill. Now that's all I can think about as I'm riding up this 2% hill. Clearly they wanted a plug and play style experience like Peloton, for sure. For sure. Oh, did I miss the sprint? What's the sprint on? 11 seconds, I'm not going to touch that. I need a little bit over 400 for this power meter. Not quite a sprint. Whew. Alright, now that I'm nearly on top of the hill, I'm going to go around the Arc de Triomphe and we'll go down and we'll call it quits. But good chat though. Chat, this is exactly why I do these live rides. I love hearing people's perspective on things. You'll get mine, obviously. I get to broadcast mine out very loudly. But if I have a chance to read others, sprint now. There's a reason why many don't consider the Peloton stuff. Yeah. Oh, it's the same as Apple and Android, I guess. But I think the interest in Peloton has probably contributed to the interest in Zwift. So it all has a rising tide effect, which is good. 1676 on that sprint. Good job. Good job. Those sprints. Watching Osher Gunsberg, a TV presenter who is now on Zwift on Twitch quite a lot. He's running Zwift and Twitch just for fitness and fun and getting right into it. But he goes for the sprints. He starts the sprints on the sprint line every time. I'm like, oh dude, I got to remind. Oh damn it, he started sprinting. So for the sprints, if you've got to sprint, you've got to be at full gas before you even start that sprint line, because it's not who gets to the end first. Because a lot of people will look at the sprints on Zwift and think, oh, two at a front sprint. It's just, you've got to get to that line, got to get to the line. That's not how this works. The sprints here, it's the fastest average between A and B. So you want to hit A at full gas. If it's a 17-second sprint, you'd want to be sprinting for almost 10 seconds for Zwift to ramp your speed up and for you to hold. And if you're, of course you're not going to be able to hold that sprint now for 27 seconds at the same power, but you're rewarded. As that fade goes, your speed's not going to come down as much as what it would take to lift up. I should do a few tests on that. Probably someone has, I'm sure of it. But you've got to know where the sprint is to really wind it up. On the Richmond course, if you sprint coming out of the corner, if you can lift there and hold that and peg it and just suffer to the line, you'll do much better. Especially if you're picking wheels to follow through. Yeah, we try to tell him to wind it up. The Pog, how good's the tour? The tour is good. So Richie did a fair bit on Zwift. Should see what Richie does during summer. So he comes back to Australia, goes into Tasmania and does these crazy rides. Osher's the cyclist. Yeah, he's been on Zwift. Now, Osher hasn't just come along to Zwift during Rona times and gone, oh, you know what, everyone's on Zwift, I'll jump on Zwift and, do a few rides. No. Osher's been around Zwift for a long time. I met Osher first up in Sydney 2015 at a Zwift event. Yep. He's legit. He's the real deal. He is the real deal. Have I tried Whoop? No, I haven't. I've seen it. I've seen it on the Pogs jersey, but I haven't tried it, no. We'll have to have a look at it. Whew. What did I say? Down the hill? Well, we nearly got another lap in, so we'll keep riding for a little bit. 9 o'clock. Time for Port to win in Kona. There we go. Well, he was a triathlete before he became a rider. Now, we saw Port back in, I think it was 2007, here in Ballarat at the Nationals. Plain kit. We had no idea who he was. I think it was 2007. I'll pull up Pro Cycling Stats. We'll soon find out. ProCyclingStats.com. Love this site. Tour de France, GC. Richie Port. This is how easy it is for me to go back through Richie's history. Richie history. 2007, did he do the No Tour of Wellington? No, was it 2008 then? So we're in the start of 2008. There we go. Yep, that's it. Right, so start of 2008. He was 5th at the Road Nationals here in Ballarat, just down the road. Port. He was riding for Team Uni SA in Australia. We didn't really know who he was. He was just this young, small kid. Well, he was 35 minus whatever, so he was, what, early 20s then, was he? Oh, mid-20s. And we're like, who the hell is this kid? Why is he staying with the top guys? Like, he's only Team US. Like, it wasn't a... So we had Team High Roads. Adam Hansen won it that year. Rory Sunderland 2nd. Ben Day 3rd. Cam Worth. Peter Mossy got 6th that year. What? Oh, sorry, that's the ITT. He got 4th in the Road Championships, right? That's why I was confused, because it was the same. Actually, it's almost the same. Adam Hansen 2nd, Rory Sunderland 3rd. Matty Loy won that year. So Richie Port came in 4th at a minute 19. So he won the bunch kick for a minute 19 for the rest. He beat Simon Gerrans. Huh. We had no idea who he was. Well, who is this guy? 2008 this was. And yeah, to see his trajectory go like that, and tonight to see him on the podium at the Tour de France, that's so cool. That is so cool. But yeah, ProCyclingStats.com, I spend hours on that thing. It's just fascinating. It is... Where are we? 2000 and... So it hasn't got his team for next year. So 2020's Trek Sigafredo, he hasn't listed the other team. Tomo mentioned it was Ineos though. Is he going back to the Skyfold? Sorry, questions before I get out of here. It's been a good ride. Thanks everyone for coming along. Good chats. Good to see everyone is well. You rode Richie's loop in Launceston in March about half his speed. Which loop was it? Was it the 400k loop? That is some epic stuff. What does Zwift typically do with glitches like the one going on with the badges? Usually we see out-of-band patching. But by band I mean they release every month, I think it is now. It used to be at the end of every month, now it's the start. But if there's a patch, if there's a bug worth fixing, or there's an event they need some banners and stuff up for, they do an out-of-band or an out-of-sync update. I'm assuming they're going to do that soon, I hope, for the badges that aren't working at the moment. Would you find your power numbers would go down holding a TT position? Typically, yes, Richard. But if you can, on a TT bike, so that's your legs and that's your torso, it doesn't make sense. But when you're riding a road bike, you're sort of up, your torso's up, and your legs like that. If on a TT bike you do that, or you do that and you squish your hip angle down, you'll lose a bit of power until you train it out, I guess, or train to hold that same power or whatever power you can put out in that position. But on a TT bike, if you can just do, that's your road bike position, if you can do that and move forward a bit, you're not going to lose a hell of a lot. That's what I found with mine. Road to TT, I probably lost a little bit of power, but I tried to make sure that the position was almost the same setup as the hip angles and everything when you move forward. It didn't do too well where you sat, and you've really got to find a saddle that allows for that, but most people will lose power going down. And a lot of people will say that, but if they only ride a TT bike once a month, or train on it for... When I was doing TTs, it was primarily riding the TT bike. Because you could train on the TT bike as hard as hell, jump on a road bike, and you were fine. Because a lot of the time on the TT bike, you're up on the outs. But if you ride all on your road bike and you want to put out your best power like that, it's never going to happen. I went longer cranks on the TT, I went 175s. I've got a longer sort of, what's this bone here? Is it the tibia? Sort of longer top legs, and my ass muscle goes up halfway up my back. I'm kind of a weird shape. So I had no problems going 175s with the right setup. Israel Startup Nation with Froome, yeah. Do I like Richmond? I like the bike path through Richmond, along the river. Femur, there we go. What's the tibia? I've got, like, seriously, I have no idea when it comes to bones. What's a tibia and a fibia? Ah, they're a little bit lower down. There we go. I just use the equipment. I don't know about it. I haven't broken a leg yet. Collarbones, I can tell you all about them. Stretching after a long ride, Richard, never. Massages, never. Stretching, no. Never did, never have. I've been lucky. I might be a little bit more elastic. The city trail is great, but its footy team sucks. I just learned lately that half of the Tax Neo owners turn off a feature of road field, which I really don't understand. It's actually what it makes it special experience on Zwifting, right? No. On this stuff, it's annoying as hell. It's fun when you go over bridges and it's like da-dunk, da-dunk, da-dunk. It's like okay, that's done. Or you go over something that's short. This, when it's cobbles non-stop, no. Compound fracture of the distal femur. Is that at the top near the knee? No? That's in the hip socket. I should stop trying to be a medical doctor here. I've got no idea when it comes to human things. Yeah, roadkill on cobbles. The bottom near the knee. Oh. Cobbles are for suffering. Yeah, sure, but I'm on just for a cruise tonight. I want to ride the Champs-Élysées, but I don't want to... Okay, so if the Stelzo allowed me to go in the gutter, I'd be riding in the gutter. And I'd leave road feel on. But I just can't... I can't get over there. Pops out of the skin. Oh, God. I've been lucky that all my collarbones have stayed inside me. I've opened up my elbow, but again, everything stayed inside. Alrighty, 909. Yeah, so if you could steer into the gutter, that'd be just brilliant. Be all for that. Is it just me, or do you sort of wait to see whether a GC rider might try to build a lead in the final stage of the tour to change a result, contrary to protocol? Oh, yeah. The theory is there, of course. Let's say Roglic, his performance was low because he's got the Rona. Who knows? And he can't start today. I'm making things up, but it's a high possibility that the result can change, but it rarely does it. And I think the protocol within the peloton would be if there was a mechanical or an issue where the yellow jersey wouldn't cross the line and be awarded the yellow jersey, they would either stop. You'd have to stop and just... It's a day for the sprinters. The 2 is 1 in the hills. That's just how it is. I don't mind it like that. That's fine. The cobble sound effects, Jessica. Oh, you're not wrong there. The cobbles and the water flow in the little village. Oh, we're on this hill again. Do I actually race? Rat boy, not anymore. Haven't raced for a few years now. Haven't raced. I used to race quite a bit. If you jump over to gplama.com and go to the About section, There's a bit of a list there of things that I did and where I went. I think it's still there. Let me see. There we go. Yeah. I have one entry on Pro Cycling Stats. Good afternoon, MK4 Golf. Hope you're doing well. Zwift sound when you're here by yourself? No, I turn the tunes right up. Yeah, the tunes are Australian 80s rock. Cadence at the moment? Yeah, from the tax. It's weekend settings though. Spin, spin, spin! It's a Brazilian spinner. Come over the top again. 38Ks, we're calling it quits. We are done. Jennifer, what version kicker do you have? The 14 and the 16s had a bit of a wind, and the 17 also had a bit of a wind. They meant to have quite nosed down, but it was the 18 and the core came out with a flat belt. AC/DC intervals, mate, spot on, absolutely spot on. AC/DC greatest hits. Siri is sick of me asking for those. What microphone arm do I use? Something cheap off eBay. Has even got a brand on it? No, just some. It's pretty light on. The little microphone I use is just tiny, so it doesn't need to be much. Spit it out! U-turn. Okay, here's a trick. U-turn on the app requires a press and hold to work. You just tap U-turn. Doesn't do anything. And I'm gonna get my 400 meters down the hill. Yeah! Caleb Ewan for the sprint tonight, for sure. Come on. That would be nice to see Sagi get a win. Peter Sagan, that'd be nice. Development for Watopia and New Worlds. I hope so we put some dirt roads in, just some dirt adventuring, just so we can just ride our bikes off the road. I think that's the popular thing outdoors now. Why not throw a 20-kilometer loop with a few forks in it that interlinks things? That'd be cool. Jesper, question regarding the Elite Suto, fairly priced direct drive trainer. Do I need a new cassette if my road bike has the FSA cassette and a Campagnolo rear shifter? If it's 11-speed, I think the 11-speed Shimano 11-speed Campac stuff are 1-for-1, I think. One for a mechanic to ask though, if you're buying from a store. Ideally you want to stick with the brands that are compatible, like from the get-go. But no campy stuff here, so I'm not sure. A bit of gravel grinding, they should do it. It wouldn't take them much. I mean, the France maps have a ton of little gravel routes. Put that in there, that'd be cool. Oh, my little guy's just gonna keep riding and riding. This is great. Back to the start, I'm gonna dish out some ride-ons. So that was, tonight was Apple TV 4K, tvOS 14, which was out just the other day. Not a problem. Graphics obviously aren't as good as the Windows version with the beastly streaming machine that I have. I was bringing that in over HDMI with an Elgato capture card. It's working fine. It's working great. Also good to see my stream is also working. If you saw a few things, a few stops and starts the other day. Yeah, a few issues with that, but that's been absolutely fine. Over an hour streaming here at 60 frames a second, and we've dropped 219 frames. That is phenomenally good, and that's almost peak Netflix and chill time here in Australia at about 9:15 on a Sunday night. Oh, good. Yeah, no, Paul, that's a good test, and I'm happy to do that on live stream, because if it goes completely south, everyone gets to see what goes on, and it serves as a bit of a warning not to do that. Am I going to do the NVIDIA 3000 series? Yes. I'll probably look at something like the 3060, the baby 3000 series. because I use, not that I use everything that I've got in the current one I've got, and Zwift isn't really, well, Zwift will use all of your CPU, but it's not going to make my Zwift experience any better. But I do use the GeForce sound filtering, so you can't hear everything else going on in the fans. GeForce, or the GDX stuff, or RTX stuff, sorry, now do the automatic green screen. That's pretty cool. Probably not worth me covering that because I've got a proper green screen behind me that works just fine. Go Caleb. Yes, Jessica, I think we're all going for Caleb tonight. We'll see that. Why is it that I can push more once outside but not on the trainer? Rat Boy. Typically cooling. Motivation's also usually a bit better outdoors. And what else? The actual riding, the momentum of being outdoors. You usually can get on top of a gear a lot better. And that's what you've usually trained for. A lot of people are monsters outdoors. They come indoors with a trainer that just rides a little differently. It's not what your muscles are trained to do. It's really specific. So depends on the trainer. Heat. So watch for that. Plus also just a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of movement that you get outdoors can help. If you're static indoors, things just get static in the one single spot. RTX 3070, massive performance for value. Jesper, what kind of price are we talking about here? Value for me is around probably $400 Australian, which is probably about $300 US. Those cards are going to be $1,000. So yeah, we'll wait for the coin miners, if they're still around, to get their purchases off first. What I'm keen to see though, sorry to ramble on about tech, the sound filtering we have in the RTX cards, they've also supported it now for the GDX too, for the lower end one with the driver update. That kind of sound technology in our sports cameras, that on a GoPro would be brilliant. GoPro now, it's 5K, full stabilized, rotation lock, they're phenomenal. What about the audio? The audio's been pretty crappy from those sports cameras. I put a small little dead cat around mine the other day for a ride that I filmed, but yeah, that's the next thing I think. GoPro needs to really focus on the audio. So much better, so when you can throw it up and just talk to the camera or live stream with it, it's good to go. Anyhow, hope everyone is well. Thanks for the chat. I really enjoyed that. We covered a lot of bases. We didn't solve any problems. We didn't cure Corona or solve the world's issues with what's taking place, but we had fun. And I got 38.5 Ks in that I wasn't going to do normally. Thank you, everyone. Watch the tour tonight. Enjoy the riding. Fingers crossed for Caleb. And yeah, let's see Richie on the podium. It's going to be good. All right, enjoy the show. Thanks for coming along.